Hello there, welcome back to some more Disco Elysium. In the last episode, what we did was we went and did a bunch of stuff, but now we're going to try and get some wheels rolling. I need to speak to Mavel. I'm already here, so I might as well do it. And then I've got to speak to Joyce just because I want to learn more about reality and the nature of it all. Do 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 do.
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling-height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers.
It's not time yet. Hello, who are you?
Boy, am I ever so grateful to you, officer.
Oh,
But
this is
I'm
Gary.
not the only one who wants to thank you.
You're nice to us, Lena. I'll talk to her then. Hey, Lena.
Oh, sweetie, I don't even know how to thank you for finding my husband and helping him out. I hope we haven't been too much trouble for you.
Just doing my job, ma'am.
Here, I want to give you a small token of my gratitude. It's
She
a
hands you
tie,
this thin ribbon held together by
Mexican
silver bird
origin.
skull.
The pin is an antique, quite special.
The little silvery knob holding the tie together feels warm in your hand. It's in the shape of an avian skull with 8 eyes. You could ask her about this when you get the time. It's probably a cryptid, but the phasmid, of course, is more important.
Less worried about husband. Lena knows Morales okay. Has the green 8 pen. Has the Terratorn tie.
There's really no point in
I
manipulating
almost
anyone.
failed.
She'd be only too pleased to tell you about her work. Go on and ask.
Hey, Lena. I'd like to hear about some of the cryptids you studied. Could you just tell me about a couple of them?
Oh, I'd be delighted. Truth be told, I could really use the company too.
One cryptid, not a couple. One. This won't turn into some kind of cryptid extravaganza.
Okay, Kim. Just one little cryptid. Promise.
He nods and assumes a waiting posture. Cryptids, cryptids. Let's hear about all the interesting cryptids. Ooh, tough choice there.
Are there any invisible cryptids?
What an interesting question. And the answer is yes, there are.
Of course. All fairy tales have someone or something invisible in them.
Shh, Kim. She's going to tell me about the invisible cryptid. What is it?
It's the Col de Mama d'Aqua. Its name means thin whisper of sound, and that's precisely what it is. Self-replicating sound waves, invisible and intangible. The Col de Mama is very afraid of us, which makes it incredibly difficult to track.
Col de Mama d'Aqua can also be translated as a whisper light and low.
A whisper light and low.
Yes, that's another translation. They're both quite lovely, aren't they? Although the low part is a little ironic. The Col de Mama d'Aqua makes, or rather is, such a high-pitched sound that other animals, including humans, can't hear it. It could be everywhere all of the time, and we wouldn't know.
Fine, I'll bite. How can an animal be a sound?
Many scientists have asked the same question. Some have claimed that it isn't itself a sound, but a tiny corpuscle that emits sound waves. But there's no evidence to support this theory.
Why is the Mama D'Aqua so afraid of us?
That is a sad story. A group of university students assisting with the fieldwork in their enthusiasm for the project, and no doubt because they were preoccupied with impressing their professors, nearly drove it to extinction.
Extinction?
They tried to communicate with it and had no other means but sound. So they started sending out sound waves at frequencies they thought might match the Mama d'Aqua's. And what happens when a sound wave meets another sound wave of the same frequency, dear?
Psst. They cancel each other out.
They cancel each other out.
Exactly. And these tests were performed so recklessly that when they happened upon the right frequency, well, they wiped out most of the population.
Great regret washes over her. A wending cloth.
After that, the corpuscle appears to have migrated elsewhere. There have been recordings of anomalies similar to those spotted in Ea, but they've been few and far between, It's impossible to confirm the presence of any stable Coltamama d'Aqua population anywhere.
Of course. A common thread in these. Disappearance and unfalsifiability. I like the story, though, ma'am.
I'm glad you did, dear.
She seems genuinely glad. Interesting.
What about what?
Now, this has been educational. Sadly, we need to discuss something else.
Of course, dear.
You never told me you'd seen the phasmid.
Oh, you don't want to hear about some old woman's ramblings.
Ramblings? Nonsense. Your description of the phasmid is the most precise I've ever heard.
But, darling, I didn't even get the size of it right.
You were a child, my dear. Really. It's extraordinary what you were able to describe. Now go on. Tell our friend about it. He's proven his interest in the field.
Reflexively, the lieutenant read his familiar notebook.
Well, it was summer. I was building a racing track out of sand on the beach near a tall stand of reeds. Quite a tall one. Many times my height, I remember. When, all of a sudden,
What happened?
I looked up, and one of the reeds moved. Not like a plant, but like a living thing. It stood up and looked at me. Its body unfolded like some antique toy. I'd never seen anything like it. The reeds turned into a creature. I didn't know this can happen, so I reached my arm and touched the thing. It felt just like a stalk of reed, but it moved, swaying, towering above me. After a while, 20 seconds, a minute maybe, it left, went into the reeds.
Did you follow it?
I tried, but I was only a child. There was mud and high water. I couldn't see it anymore. I was just standing there knee-deep in mud, looking around me.
Then what?
I ran back home to my grandmother and asked her if reeds could walk, and told her they were looking at me. Of course, she just laughed at me, but I knew what I'd seen. For years, it was a story I told at parties when I wanted to impress boys. That sort of thing. Of course, most people just took it as a strange, amusing anecdote. So did I, honestly. But then I met Morel.
We were on a date. Can you imagine? She tells me a story, and it's the most detailed report of the Insulindian phasmid I've ever heard. The sounds. She told me it hissed.
It did, yes. Like reeds in a gust of wind.
The way it moved, the colour, how some of its limbs were white, like marble. It matched perfectly with what I know from other accounts. It was amazing. If it weren't for Lena, I might have given up hope years ago. It's no exaggeration to say that she restored my faith in my profession.
He looks at her with admiration, forgetting a wild smile on his face. A wide smile, sorry. You on a date?
Our first, yes.
The old woman looks at her husband tenderly.
The glance is tender, yes, but tempered by something else. A thought she can't express, even to him. Interesting.
Kim, what do you think of this?
I thought it was a wonderful story, ma'am.
He closes his notes and gives her a simple smile. Thank you for sharing this with me.
You're welcome, sweetie. I do appreciate the chance to relive it whenever I get one. It was just such an impossibly sunshiny day. So warm.
And she could get up and walk right into the reeds on her own. Into the mud. Anywhere.
That's all for now, ma'am. What does this tie give me? Inland Empire and Volition. Nice. Right, Morel.
I couldn't possibly shower thanks on you as enthusiastically as my wife has. But I am grateful for your assistance, officer.
He tries to play it cool, remain professorial. But inside, this man is itching for some news on those traps.
So I checked all the traps.
Good. Okay. And?
One of them was empty.
Completely empty?
Yeah, there was nothing in the trap. No locust, no phasmid.
No locusts? No phasmid either?
That's not ideal, but
The empty trap was the one at your campsite. Maybe this factors into it somehow?
I definitely left that one stocked.
Right from the campsite? just means the Insulindian phasmid is even more clever than we thought.
She's engaging in a well-known self-deception called motivated reasoning. You should correct them.
Of course, more clever.
Yes, the Phantasmadeia picked off the locusts and escaped. This is good news, though we'll have to reconsider the design of the traps, make them more secure.
Another trip to the reeds.
That's exactly what this is. What a deft hunter, this phasmid.
Of course. Be sarcastic. Unless you have an alternative hypothesis you'd like to venture, mine stands, okay? Actually, no. Excuse me for getting emotional. This is a big deal for us. You've helped us twice now, and brought some great news too. My gratitude, and the gratitude of the Société Cryptozoologique de Ravachol, is yours.
Heartfelt gratitude. But does it feel like closure? What really happened?
Thank you, it's an honor.
It says with a straight
We
face
should
and turns to
probably
you.
return to our main investigation here. This has been refreshing, but
Damn it, Lieutenant. Have you no intellectual curiosity?
Develop an alternative theory about the missing locust. Go.
You have your suspicions, but nothing you can form into a viable explanation.
Maybe it was a different cryptid who took the bugs.
A different cryptid?
The cryptozoologist furrows his heavy brow.
Oh, sweetie. Maybe you should stick to human detective work.
I'll get going. No. No. I'm going balls deep on this. Why am I doing that? Who knows? But I am. That's 4 hours, that's 11 hours. That one will be done way before the other one. Okay. Upgraded interfacing, so I'm going
Lena and
again.
I were just discussing the design of the new...
Consider the way the trap was disturbed, as though shaken. Most likely the hands of a young person. Hands small enough to fit inside the trap, too.
Okay. I'm interfacing. I just got enough even with the upgraded stat.
You should ask the red-headed boy, Kuno.
I think a little hooligan called Kuno may have stolen the locusts.
A little hooligan. But what would a child want with bugs?
Oh, my dear Morel. You've been an old man for too long. Kids love to torment insects almost as much as they love to torment old folks.
I'll talk to the little gremlin and see if anything comes up.
delinquents, my favorite.
It doesn't sound like it's really his favourite.
Oh, you've been such a dear to us. Please let us know whatever you turn up. I have a feeling we're getting so close.
Well, I see you've got all the help you need. I'll see you tonight at my place. Let's play suzerainty, but no more field trips for me.
He hasn't been particularly forthcoming before. He may well still be hiding something. After he's left, it's too late.
Really, Gary? We're getting somewhere here. I'd love to play suzerainty, but
Lena, I'm sorry, but you're not getting anywhere. It was some kids. I know the little mutants around here. Leave anything out in the open and they'll steal it, even if it's bugs.
He looks at his tea.
Morel, it's been fun, really, but I need a bath and I have deliveries to handle. When this tea is done, I gotta run.
No need to apologise, Geary. You'd be more than helpful.
Geary.
We'll have to take a rain check on that game of suzerainty today, though. We're gonna follow this through.
I'll get going. Alright, Gary, you little shit.
Always a pleasure to see an officer of the law. I mean, officers.
Do you know anything about the man?
So that's what the...
So
Okay.
you do.
No.
He didn't kill him or anything.
You
No,
cryptozoologist
no.
After
too?
all this time with Morel.
Oh,
mean, cryptids.
yes,
What's
a
a burning rhino?
rhinoceros that looked
Why do they burn?
vicious.
But how is this
How
combined?
does
The
light in the
rhino
food work?
starts running very fast to build
I could buy into that, a flaming
The
rhino.
river call used to be a flaming rhino. Not
You
many.
surprised-
Do
see
you
him.
remember how, when we met Measurehead and I said the next races will be a really good
I
one?
think so. Sorry, as you know, I've been having problems with my memory.
At any rate, this is our third lucky racist.
We've gone as 3 bushes, Gary.
Hey, man. All I meant was there are not many Sealites
The
around.
lieutenant is a
Oh,
lieutenant of
yes.
Rivershell. Right, hang
Not
on.
many-
Do you
I've got to
remember
exhaust
how
all
when
the
we-
dialogue.
At any rate, This
Are you
is-
Gary?
Hey,
Are you a racist?
man.
Do you have a problem with
No.
saillites?
No problem at all. Oh,
So you do.
no.
He didn't kill him or anything, but
Fuck.
Always a I mean,
Okay. I know there's something up with you, Gary. I know there's something up with you, you little shit. I'm gonna make a save point here in case I fuck something up. Okay. Let's go speak to Kuno. Kuno? Kuno doesn't fucking care. As we know. But he might know something about the bugs. You little
was
bastard.
that? Could it be the Coldamama Dakwa? No, it's probably just your imagination ringing in your ear.
Is it? Is there a ringing?
There seems to be an extremely high-pitched ring. Ultrasonic. Lena said it was very high-pitched, right?
She also said humans can't
It's
hear
like
it.
something tickles your ear. Lena also said that it couldn't be heard by any other animal, including humans. What you're hearing must just be a regular bird. Honestly, your ear isn't hearing a whole lot. The distant hum of the industrial harbor, the traffic. But, admittedly, there is a high-pitched noise somewhere there too. But then, isn't there always?
Kim, do you hear a high-pitched noise?
No, I don't hear the Coldomama d'Aqua, and neither do you.
Of course he doesn't. He's deaf.
Let's listen closely first.
There it is again. You're about to rediscover a long-lost species.
Keep listening.
It must be very close. Maybe, just maybe, it will come toward you.
Let's move our head toward the sound.
Oh no. The sound. It's moving away. Somewhere over there. Go after it. No. Too late. It's gone. There is no ringing anymore. Just the sound of the streets.
No, come back, please.
Keep your ears peeled, then. If the species really has migrated to Martinez, you're sure to hear it again.
I've heard about the Coldomamadakwa. I'm not going to investigate that thought, probably. A different playthrough I might have done. Kuno, you fucking little shite.
Fuck does Kuno care?
You don't happen to know anything about any missing locusts.
No, Kuno doesn't give a fuck about bugs.
So he knows locusts are bugs.
Oh my god, I told you that shit is lame!
Shut up, see.
Now they're gonna take you to lame prison!
She sounds like she's about to cry, out of disappointment at Kuno's newfound lameness.
Now hold on, no one's lame here, just tell me what happened.
Deny everything, Kuno! You need to lawyer up!
Kuno's not gonna say anything without his lawyer present.
There's definitely something going on here. Remember his pig's head shack? You should check it out.
Let's figure out if I can figure out what's going on with this kid.
He's on your
Done.
crime scene, bossing you around. And he's been here for some time too. This is where he hangs out. You have to get more out of him. He could be useful.
Kuno, listen, I know this boundary pushing thing is new to you, but it's old news for us grown-ups.
Get your snout out of Kuno's ass. Kuno knows how hard Kuno pushes it. Kuno pushes it hard level. You should give up, Popo, or the Kun will keep fucking it out of you.
You okay, Kuno?
Kun has her confused.
That went wrong. He took it as a compliment. Then he had a minor seizure.
Kuno doesn't.
He went... blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so about 9 o'clock tonight, I'm going to get Measurehead to do that, and then I'm going to sit here, and then the body will be down, then I get the boots off when I go to bed, because Kim will go to sleep, and then it'll be good. I might be thinking about it too hard. There are other checks I can do. Let's try and conceptualize against this wall, if I even can. I highly doubt that I can. We'll give it a go.
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
Why am I looking at the wall?
You have no clue. It's just a wall.
Wasn't too bad.
So many walls all over Martinez. Weather-worn, cracked, their paint peeling.
It's going to be very hard to do all these things. I'm not going to try and do every single skill check, but what I will try and do... You hear the sound of running water. Someone washing dishes. Someone's in there now. I don't want to speak to whoever's in there. Yeah, I don't think not going to try and do all these skill checks. I will try and do all the tasks I've got. So that might lead me to do a lot of the skill checks anyway. But I do want to try and do all the tasks, get experience that helps me do more tasks easier. It's a complex web, it's like a puzzle. I'm not doing the puzzle very well because I keep impulsively putting points into things to finish what I'm immediately trying to do. But there's reason to believe that I could do things about this. I've got 57 experience points, so one more quest would give me another level up if it's a 70 experience quest. Some give you 30, which wouldn't be enough, but other ones give you 5 just for doing small things, so... Falling with locusts in here.
All around you, the hisses and chirps of locusts fill the musky air. The earthen floor of the shack has been shaped into mounds of mud, dotted with little holes for windows. Like skyscrapers, spires of dirt and sand rising. Accommodations for their insectoid inhabitants.
Well, detective, it appears you've solved the case
The lieutenant looks around, invites someone in his notebook, turns to you.
of the locusts. For the missing locust case, which is a sub-case of the imaginary insect case. So at least that's going well.
Yes, precisely what I was thinking.
Yes. I feel we are nearing a real breakthrough.
You think the Interlindian phasmid is nearby?
If anything, the presence of the locust points to the opposite. The phasmid did not take the bait from the traps. It was Kuno. The phasmid doesn't exist. But what do I know?
Use your powers of deduction. You knew the magic bug was nowhere near here. The phasmid is impairing your judgment.
We should talk to Kuno about this, get him to stop.
I'll let you handle the Kuno side of things. You are doing just fine.
Oh, great. Thanks. I don't want to do that. Kuno, you little shit.
Fuck does Kuno care?
I know you took the locust from the traps the cryptozoologist set up.
Yeah. Kuno took the bugs. So what?
You say you don't give a fuck about bugs and you go and build a whole bug town.
It's not Bugtown. It's the city of locusts. Locusts aren't just bug shit. They come out of the sky like a fucking shadow. Shit descends.
Stop!
She wheels behind the fence, then bows her face in her hands.
You stop. It's like their fucking night. Locust City, Night City, City of Rage.
There's a tug of war over the name of his fantastical city. It's almost too big for his imagination. The girl forces herself to watch again, the corners of her eyes twitching from discomfort.
City of Rage sounds like a cool place.
Kuno, the pig wants to help you. Oh, that's how lame it is. Please just don't say you're...
An artist. Maybe I am an artist. You hear that, everyone? I'm a fucking artist now.
Did he just say I? Kuno usually calls Kuno, Kuno.
Hold on, did I hear you right? You said I.
Kuno made Kuno. Kuno says whatever the fuck he wants. There are no rules here, pig.
He steps closer.
I fucking say I when I wanna, and Kuno when I wanna. Kuno's free. Kuno's free to fucking die, bitch.
This is what he sometimes does when things get tense.
Great, Kuno, it's cool to make art.
Oh my god, Kuno! He's gonna make you totally lame in, like, 3 seconds. Don't let him, Kuno.
Yo, fuck you, see? Kuno can be what Kuno wants to be. Kuno's his own man. Kuno's free.
Tears at the buttons of his shirt, trying to rip them open, but they don't give way.
Kuno made himself into Kuno. Kuno can make himself into anything. Kuno can make himself into a pig if he wants. Kuno can make himself into a... Kuno doesn't give a shit.
Don't make yourself into a pig, Kuno. You'll have to take me away.
A leaden silence fills the room. Say nothing.
Without a word, she disappears entirely behind the fence. For once, the boy is lost for words. He turns completely red now, with splotches of white beginning to appear across his face. You got him. Now convince him to leave the cryptozoologist's traps alone.
I need you to stop taking locusts from the traps. The cryptozoologists are trying to find something very important. Those locusts are bait.
I don't give a shit. I don't need the locusts anyway. Shit is all lame now. She was right.
The girl's face appears again, above the fence, just long enough to make eye contact with Kuno. She doesn't know whether to be glad because Kuno's finally convinced of the lameness, or more worried because of his continued use of the first person singular. Kuno is Kuno, not I.
What's going to happen to the locusts?
Kuno's gonna let the fucking locusts die.
Okay, now that's settled, I better be off.
The fuck are they trying to catch anyway? With
The
the traps?
Insulindian Phasmid? He mutters to himself.
He recognizes the name.
Wait, you know what the Insulindian Phasmid is?
Bitches think Kuno doesn't know shit. The fuck out of here. Kuno's tired of this shit.
There's silence between the two children. They're not saying anything to each other, nor looking in each other's direction.
Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno doesn't.
I think Kuno might care a bit more than Kuno says. But what does Joey know? He's just a police officer. Not a particularly good police officer either. I make a lot of mistakes. Rile up a lot of feathers. Hello.
Hello, officer. I think I almost have it. A new trap design, that is. I know you're skeptical, but I have a good feeling about this.
I had a chat with this kid Kuno. He promised to stop stealing the locusts.
So it was just a child.
He purses his lips, crestfallen.
Thank you for telling us, sweetie. This is good news, right? It means we can try again.
She acts chipper, but something's changed in her tone. A hidden worry.
Yeah, you're right. We just need to restock the empty trap. Then we'll need to inspect the traps one more time. And then maybe we can.
The aging cryptozoologist breaks into a hideous coughing fit.
Darling, I told you to take it easy. You're getting sick. Maybe it's time to go home.
You're right, you're right. We can come back next season, when it's warmer.
Damn it. We've come this too far to quit. I'm going to restock the trap. Let's do this.
We are getting really carried away with this, aren't we? Fine. It's better than having these people get pneumonia on the coast. But after this...
He wants to see this tale through, as much as you. Otherwise, he'd have stopped this already. But he cannot let it drag out after this.
Really? It's too much, officer.
He starts coughing again.
What Morel means is we're grateful for your help.
She nods to her husband.
Here's a fresh scratch of locusts. They should slide right down the funnel. And thank you again. We will definitely mention you, should this lead to a discovery. I'm not talking co-discovery, of course, but...
Wow. Co-discovery. You'd be famous. You'd show them all. This does tingle the pleasure center.
I'll get going. Yeah, I think I fucked up. But that's fine, because Gary's gone. But it's fine. Alright. Let's rock. Kuno doesn't fucking care. By now my mind's just obsessed with the idea that I fucked up, so I can't really think straight. What was I doing? Oh yeah, restocking the things. Let's go restock the things. I mean, this is the sort of game where you can't do everything in one playthrough. Really. Because unless you know exactly what to do, like you're following a guide or something, I don't know how you would possibly do things in the most efficient way. There probably is a guide. Like the puzzle has been solved. You start with these stats, and then you get these stats in each level, and as you go through each level, you do the things.
The locusts aren't doing all too well, but they're still...
No, you want me to only do the full trap. Okay. What if I find the Phasmid, though? Wouldn't that make it all worth it? If I find the Phasmid, you'd be pretty impressed. You'd be like, wow, Joey, you're so cool and handsome. then I'd say thank you. As soon as I get this benefit from my my thought cabinet, I'm clearing out my rooms. I'm becoming sober, stopping the drink. I'll become a better person, a more stable person, if nothing else. Maybe not strictly better, because that's a bit weighted, but at least sober, more cognizant.
The trap stands empty near the reeds. No insect sounds or movement around. Only the reeds' apprehensive hissing.
Release the locusts into the empty trap.
The locusts, dazed from being transported, slowly begin to acclimate to their new surroundings. They're not really going to get the chance to get comfortable here.
Good, now that's done. When do you think we will return to our impending apocalypse of a murder investigation? Don't answer that. It was a rhetorical question.
Okay. Find the Insulindian phasmid. You've restocked the trap. Now report to Leno in the whirling. Let's check over here. Just gotta check the reeds, just in case. I've restocked the trap for you, my love. I mean that in the platonic sense. I will do what you need to do. Still need to just sign that thing though, very badly. Eventually I'm going to have to roll some of these low chance rolls. Because thought cabinets let me restock and try these things again. But I have to try something. Okay. Yeah, I've got to try something. Because I can't... Well, eventually I'll reach a dead end. I mean, there's always the opportunity that, like I said before, that I can lie to Everard and it will probably progress the thing. But I don't really want to do that right now. I can also try and show authority. Are there any volition checks I can do? The doorbell. I can do the payphone again. The tie gives me Inland Empire and Volition. I already talked to the dead body, so I don't need to have Inland Empire for that. Okay. Coming back to Lena again. Hello, Lena.
Hello, dear. It's good to see a familiar face.
The older woman smiles up at you, hopefully. I restocked the empty track. Where's Morel?
Thank you for doing that, dear.
She manages to smile for you.
Her smile is weary. Her earlier ebullience has left her.
What's up?
Morel still isn't feeling well. I convinced him to stay at Gary's to get some rest. I'm afraid the cold has really gotten to him.
It's probably for the best. It's awful cold out there in those reeds.
I'm sorry, dear. You've had to drudge through them so many times. Such is field work. A young person's game, as they say.
Her voice is shaky. What is going on here?
So who's going to check the traps?
Morel will eventually, or we'll talk Gary into going back out, perhaps.
The lieutenant stares at his shoe, caked in mud. He doesn't say anything.
Once more into the breach, then.
That really is too much, sweetie. Thank you for your dedication, but I can see you're coming down with a cough yourself.
Very strange. Why is she not letting you do this? It's like she's given up.
Lena, what's wrong? You seem different.
Different? How?
You've given up on the phasmid.
I'm in doubt, sweetie. That's all. Everyone is now and then.
You're in doubt about what?
It's a strange feeling. I haven't really told this to anyone, but you are a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever wonder if some lovely story from your childhood is just that? A story? Or a dream? Seeing the Insulindian phasmid was just a story I used to tell people. I didn't really think about whether it was real or not.
But Morel told me you'd seen it. You also told me.
Morel's so proud of it. He always tells everyone.
A terrible sting in the heart. Regret.
You seem to believe it. You seem to really believe it happened. Doesn't that count for something?
No, sweetie. There's more to it than that. Morel was so eager to believe my story was evidence of the phasmid's existence that I'm some queen of the cryptozoologists. That. And for years, his belief made me believe too. But now, we're both getting old and he's still working himself sick out in those reeds looking for it. But what if I was just wrong? I think I was.
The lieutenant opens his notebook, but doesn't write anything.
First tell our marriage hasn't been a lie. Try.
An acorn is not the same as the tree. That requires time, diligence, and care.
And I need something good here.
All qualities these two seem to share in abundance.
Wrong or not, your relationship with Morel isn't just about the phasmid.
But it is. We've spent years searching for the phasmid, hunting it together. Without it, what are we? Just another pathetic old couple. If I hadn't led him down this path, he could have a steady job lecturing at a university.
You know, this reminds you of the Pericarnassian theory of love. In essence, love is a relay out of death. Generation by generation, our love remains in our progeny. Lay some of that on her.
You know that Pericarnassians theorized that love was the key to immortality.
Oh, sweetie. I don't think the Pericarnassians were thinking of people in my situation.
She looks down at her legs.
I was a paraplegic before we met. He didn't know before I arrived. On our first date. If I weren't the queen of the cryptozoologists, if I didn't tell him that story...
She has to swallow to relax her throat. It's keeping her from talking.
He'd still be into you. That's not how these things work.
Maybe. But then why do I not dare tell him? I've wasted enough of your time with this drama. I really must stop talking about it lest I start crying and waste more of your time. What you have to know is the Insulindian phasmid probably does not exist. Let us fools chase our ghosts. There are a million better things to do with your life.
Are there? Some of the other things are pretty bad.
To hell with this. I still believe you saw the phasmid.
A true believer. Sometimes I still see it too. The real memory of it. How it was there. Not the memory of the memory, but it's so hard to tell the two apart. Either way, I should go. Poor Morel is running a fever, and I need to get him home to Jamrock before we overstay our welcome with Gary.
You do that. I'll check the traps one more time.
Really?
Oh, sweetie. Please don't get stuck on a dream. Take it from me and Morel.
Can I have your address just in case there's news?
Okay. It's 1113 Tabernacle Road. Jamrock, but...
A sigh. She doesn't think you'll need it.
Been a pleasure, ma'am.
Likewise, sweetie. Thank you for everything. Truly. Even though it turned out to be a
waste of time. A lie? Like that. She drives off. The gas engine enters quietly as she gets to the doors, then pushes them open. Outside, the cold, coastal wind blows.
We should go too.
I'm going to check one more time. I've only got so many tasks. So as far as we're concerned, the Insulindian phasmid isn't real. But I'm going to go check one more time, because it might be there. And if it is, then, you know, then it'll be pretty cool. Also, I saved after Gary said he would leave. I probably should have saved... I mean, how would I have known? I should probably have saved before Gary said he would leave, so he wouldn't leave. There probably is an autosave far enough back, but it's a long way to go back now.
The trap is full of locusts, but they poor things.
Okay, nothing in this one. I'm going to check the one near Morel last again. Or where Morel was. Also, yes, really, Kim. I have to know. I have to find closure in this. If I find it, then it'll be real good. But as soon as people started leaving, I thought, oh, I fucked this up, haven't I? Although maybe there isn't a way to find it. I'm assuming that there is, and that I've done something wrong. But maybe there isn't.
The trap is filled with dead and dying locusts. Poor things.
It's very possible that there isn't anything to it, but I have to at least try.
A few locusts trudge along the wall of the trap. The rest are piled in a heap in the corner, dead. No phasmid anywhere. Poor things.
I must check. I've got 30 experience, so it makes me feel like it's bad end. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm just overthinking it, but I feel like you'd have good end. You get 70 XP, everyone's happy, you find the thing, gives you untold riches. Passed a red check. I tried to salvage the situation, but unfortunately sometimes things can't be salvaged like that. Which is a poignant reminder for life, that sometimes no matter how good you think you are, you can't fix a shit situation. It's just shit. But I tried to help.
Just dead and dying locusts, and the slow swaying of surrounding reeds. Poor things.
Okay. Well, I looked again. So I'm happy now that there definitely wasn't anything to it. Well, I'm happy now that there definitely isn't a phasmid in these things. I don't know that there wasn't anything to it. I just know that that's not... What I did is not the way that you find it, if you can find it. Make better decisions, I guess. Right, so... Let me think. I've got another point. I've got empathy as much as it can go. I can't increase that outside of stats, like boosting gear. Hours and 10. Okay. I just got to think, what do I want to do for the last minute or two of the video? I'm a little bit forlorn. I feel sad that I couldn't help them. But it is a bit far-fetched to have like a basically invisible reed bug that basically essentially doesn't exist. And find it. I'm a police officer, not a fucking bug finder. But still, it would have been nice. That's all. So let's go to Also, it's sunny now again. Fuck knows what the weather's doing. Let's ask about the armor, just in case it's the right time.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I
Did you
assist
find the owner of the boots?
Still no word, I'm afraid, sir. I know
Sorry.
it must be frustrating. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
I'm done with the radio for now.
In the cabin, you see...
Thank you. I called for a few hours. I waited for like 6 hours before I called again. I think that's enough time. Let's do some quick checks. René Arnaud.
The purity of snow always reminds me of the purity of a man's soul, if he's got principles.
All you observe
find out.
is a veteran refusing to let go of the past and his old uniform. This is not uncommon.
This is the uniform of the Royal Carabineers in service of Frissel I, Guillaume le Lion, and the valiant King Philip V before him.
Don't you mean Frissel the Fan?
You do not speak his name, Craven, although he was a clown. But he was our clown, ours to ridicule and to mourn.
There's something you missed. You will get to it. Don't worry.
I'm not so sure that I will, you know. This old cryptid situation has really made me doubt my own abilities. I feel like, what's the point in playing? I don't know what I can do. I feel a bit useless. I guess we can speak to Joyce. Find out more about ourselves, if nothing else. We'll try, at least.
Hello. You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Tell me about these
I
tattoos
fear
again.
I've told you all I know.
Who could tell me more?
Platoon members?
Surely there are other people to ask
Yeah,
about.
I need the
tattoo.
information.
Do what you have to do, Detective Dubois. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security. But if you should wade into the mob to find out, I couldn't stop you.
We will be careful, ma'am.
Thank you for
Is
the
there
tattoos.
anything else I can help you with?
There's
More
questions
lessons
about reality.
in basic reality? My favourite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
Right, let's try.
6 kilometers
Oh.
southwest in the Valley of Dogs.
Nice.
Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass.
That was very unlikely.
To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again. We always do.
What am I?
You? You're an officer of the RCM.
She says energetically. The Revachol Citizens Militia.
Preciso mundo.
Good, and what is the Revachol Citizens Militia?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
Yes, we are the Revachol Citizens Militia.
He's being sarcastic.
You said de facto.
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin.
What do you mean?
The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire stasis to the benefit of foreign capital.
All 3 are good to know when we are out policing.
So I'm basically the lackey of capital.
There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it.
She leans in.
Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not fans of you.
Why?
The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the international zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed, a true blue citizens' initiative. they will never forgive you.
That's somewhat of an exaggeration. In reality, ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement. Ravacholians get to keep the peace in Ravachol, and the Coalition doesn't have to worry about it. Anyway, sorry to intrude. Please continue.
Yes, Lieutenant. Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are, to me, is the police. The only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol.
Thank you, ma'am.
And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I'm here to help.
What is this?
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
I mean, what is this place here?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislaine, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two.
She looks around. What is Rue de Saint-Ghislaine 33A?
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old.
She looks up the crumbling facade.
This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
Who lived in them?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off.
Splat, splat.
From a dilapidated balcony, Cindy the Skull gives Joyce the Evil Eye, her red paintbrush tied to her throat.
You could be wrong. But from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat in a soaring motion.
Wonderful.
What is that? Point to Cindy the Skull.
The girl in the old lady rags.
Yes.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture?
Yes. You and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
I understand everything. Make it more complicated somehow.
I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead. All right. What next?
Suddenly, you're not so sure you're part of the supraculture.
I think I might be part of an infraculture.
And what would that be?
Disco.
I can see that, yes. I dabble in those dark arts myself, not so long ago. I assure you, it was a thoroughly supracultural phenomenon. All permeating. Downright mandatory. Nothing infra about disco, baby.
Your disco?
Those days are long behind me. And even in the early 30s, I would say I was more of a new girl. Disco was a minor, but still enjoyable facet of the whole thing for me.
The new?
The new. A cultural era. And the name of the decade it ravished, the 30s. It came out of post-revolutionary Revachol. It was ultra-liberal. It involved lots of partying, as you might imagine, and champagne-coloured everything. By the looks of it, that would have been when you came of age. Now,
Sounds fun. I can't remember a single thing.
wasn't it Guillaume Le Million who said, if you can remember the new, you weren't there?
Wait, Guillaume Le Million. I was just thinking about that guy. Whatever happened to him?
Ah, yes. This is not very central to reality, is it?
I still want to know.
I can't be 100% sure, but I believe he died due to complications from venereal disease.
Which one?
All of them.
So you're saying he didn't vanish in a puff of stardust?
I'm afraid no. But then again, one can't be entirely sure. It's all part of his mystique. Ask someone else and you may get a more champagne-coloured take. Anyway, what other basic facets of reality should we discuss?
Cool for now.
Glad to have been of assistance.
Thank you. I managed to succeed that check. How? Who the fuck knows? Sometimes I get lucky. It is just the roll of the dice after all. Perhaps another mercenary can tell you more about the Hammer's tattoos. The so-called scab leader at the harbour gates won't count as one of the people that you're informing you about the tattoos, but could be interesting. It won't count. Interesting. I'm not sure I want to do this, but I'm gonna. But not now. For now, I'll see you guys next time when we continue on and I find out what exactly I fucked up by letting Gary go. See you then. Goodbye.